we have gone through, the teachers have gone through various online courses how to pick up this testing also, because when National Testing Agency can do online exam, so we can at least go ahead with some simple exams. So
Okay.
I personally have gone through the papers.
Sorry to intervene. I'm so sorry. I think as Indians also now we can start at the right time.
We
It's
should.
about 12:05.
Yes.
As school owners, we should be punctual.
Yes, and I think we have about 34 participants now, so it's a good time to kind of start, and more are joining in. So I'll take about a minute to introduce and go through the introduction, and then probably Dr. Rajiv Gupta can take the session forward and drive this whole session for about 1 hour. So first of all, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this webinar. First,
good afternoon, Mr. Raman.
Yeah, thanks. And hoping that you and all your loved ones are safe and healthy. I mean, that's the thing of the utmost importance at this point.
We hope the same for you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Ma'am, welcome to the webinar.
Thank you so much, sir.
Lovely.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. See, EduWell is a platform intending to connect educationists and wellness experts and driving the importance of holistic well-being for the school students. We shall be doing this through organizing well-being conclaves and webinars and some in-school programs and initiatives like EduWell Travel, EduWell Curriculum, EduWell Kitchens, which obviously looking at today's time will take about a year from now to start. Let me quickly introduce you to our panelists. Dr. Rajiv Gupta, who would be driving this complete webinar, is the founder director of Golden Bells and the Indian Public Senior Secondary School in Rohini, and has a vast experience of about 20 years in the education domain. He's also one of the directors of a very well-known publishing house called Rachana Sagar. Ms. Malik has been associated with the education domain for about 27 years. She's worked with institutions like Vidya Bharati School Rohini, St. Mark's, CRPF Rohini, where she acted as a vice principal. And she has been the founder principal of JP Public School Noida since 2011. Ms. Alka Sahni, she is currently acting as the principal of Vidya Jain School Rohini and the director development with BPN Services India Private Limited. She is a former vice principal of Maharaja Agharsen Public School and Rukmini Devi Public School in Pitampura with an experience of about 17 years. And finally, Ms. Kanwar, who's been associated with St. Xavier's High School, Sector 49, Gurgaon, as a headmistress for middle wing. And she's contributed immensely to the education domain for the last 24 years. First of all, it is worth mentioning, and a round of applause for our school leaders and teachers who are putting in such great effort to bringing learning to the doorsteps of the children in today's time. But I'm sure there are certain challenges still staring in our face. And this session probably will help us give a decent insight on how we can deal with them effectively and learn from each other's experience in their educational institutions. Now, I would finally pass the virtual mic to Dr. Gupta for taking this session forward and creating a bliss in this session completely.
Thank you, Aman. Thank you very much. Once again, welcome Anjali ma'am, Geeta ma'am, and Alka ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. I have been asked to moderate this very beautiful and challenging session today, and I'm glad that I'm honored to have all three of you on board. The topic today is of effective learning and development techniques used basically for the primary wing and the middle school. So we have a plethora of questions here. Question number one is, like in today's scenario, or in totality, when we talk about the Indian education system, the focus has been more on completing the curriculum rather than effective teaching. So what is the opportunity that we see as head of schools and educators to inculcate the spirit of holistic learning so that the children who are, once they clear their schooling, become better human beings? Like, just to say, when we see children of grade 10 to 12, they are struggling in the months of December and January and February for their pre-boards, and the teachers are struggling to complete the curriculum. So how do we devise the curriculum? Is it just for the formality of teaching, or basically for understanding and learning, bridging the gap between the child and the teacher to minimize the gap, or is basically to just finish off the curriculum and let the child do it on his own? So I throw the panel to all of you, so anyone can start the question.
Uh, I would like to start. I would say what we, most of the fraternity is trying to do is making them, like an information bank. We do not have to make our students information bank right now. We have to make them informed learners. Once
Very
you make them informed learners, you will eventually get to the holistic growth. And, I would, why I just picked up this thing up. I had recently, read one article, though it was in the month of October. It said, it was a beautiful piece which says we have to Maslow before we bloom. The Maslow's hierarchy, and then we have to come to those cognitive, the things which Bloom tells us all about knowledge, evaluation, synthesizing. But before that, it has to be Maslow. So, all the tires, if we give them, that love, we tell them about the belongingness, the feelings, the love, the care. Once that is there, once we ensure that our students are loved, they are being cared, they are responsible, and then you can go to your Bloom factor. So it has to be Maslow.
very true, Miss Anjali. It's like set induction. If the things are induced properly, they're taken wisely and effectively.
Malik
Yeah.
ma'am. Yeah.
Well, I believe that, your curriculum transaction has to actually drive through 4 basic skills. They are the skill of communication, the skill of creativity, the skill of collaboration, and of course the ICT, computer skills. So I think till class 8, especially whatever curriculum we plan, howsoever we go on with the curriculum transaction, we must focus on these 4 skills of the 21st century. So the curriculum has to be driven by these. I mean, you cannot be teaching only the text, your languages. You have to look into the communication aspect, and communication is not only your conversation. English conversation does not mean communication. When I talk of communication, it is your body language, your verbal as well as non-verbal communication. So the way you connect with people, that actually has to be taught to children since beginning. So the activities, when you throw the activities in your activity calendar during the planning session, the principal and the teachers all have to be on board, and they have to keep the vision of the school in mind, and then plan that this communication is always stressed upon. The computer skills, like in my school, I have an opportunity here, the Atal Tinkering Lab. So this has provided students a wonderful platform where they can nurture their skills now in artificial intelligence, and then of course their IT skills. So you see, children have to be tech smart, and now we don't need to prove it. There has been a situation when suddenly the laptop, the smartphones, they have become so important. But then what is important from the school's point of view is that children have to be taught how they have to pick up cyber safety. They have to be cyber smart also. So that becomes the role of the school in such a situation, where they need to be very, very proactive. Learning and participating in an online class, there we could feel children were more prompt in comparison to teachers. But they have to be taught how their safety is important and how it can be taken care of. So similarly, the skill of collaboration, because see, this was the time, I think, because nobody could meet each other physically, but children could collaborate, and sometimes teachers were collaborating with the students just to give them some free space also, because we must understand that little disturbances which they used to make in the class is now not possible now.
Very true.
Family collaboration, right?
In today's scenario, the first quarter is literally gone, April, May, June, and hopefully and unfortunately the second quarter is also going to be away physically. So we are thinking that the schools, till the primary wing, the schools are going to start in the month of October. These are the feelers which are coming from the Education Ministry. So this 6 months, how are we going to replan or redo our timetable or planning strategies so that the entire thing which a child needs to understand in the school atmosphere has to be uh, carefully and tactfully and strategically delivered to the child and to the parents also, because nowadays all the parents have become very socially and mentally aware and also aware of what is happening in the school or what
Right.
is not happening in the school also. So how are we going to cope up with this 6 months of physical loss of the child coming to the school and the teachers interacting with the parents and the children? And before that, we throw open this question again to the panelists. I welcome all the participants who have joined in. Thank you so very much, everyone, for joining in and sparing your time during this free time or the most busiest time for all the ladies in the houses. But again, it's a testing time for everyone, and everyone is into an experiential and a learning stage where they are evolving and converting their houses into homes, I suppose. So that is what has been the most transformation of this thing. We now say we live in a home. So house has become a home, I suppose, for everyone, and that is the best thing Corona has given to us. So again, I would say, how are we going to cope up with this 6 months of loss, academic loss, which obviously cannot be given through online and live coaching?
Uh, Again, I'll tell you, like you started with the parents, I'll come with the parents only. One thing we must understand, our parents are juggling right now. It is not that we teachers are juggling. Most of the teachers are parents. So they have work from home. They have to lesson plan. They have maybe elders they have at home for whom they have to look after. Maybe there are some, economic conditions also they have to look into. They have to plan their own things as well. So, even a parent is juggling, and a parent is not trained like us. So, we will have to do a lot of counseling. We have to tell the parents, we have to take parents into confidence, provide them tips. We can tell the parents, okay, you can't do much, you can sit with your child, attempt this quiz today, sit with your child, do some loud reading with your child. So we will have to very gradually involve the parents in our teaching learning. As far as the curriculum thing is concerned, yes, that has to be replanned. It will have to be, we will have to take up the focus thing. We cannot just give them everything. Everything new cannot be taught. We have to remember that this is not virtual learning. This is not online learning. It is pandemic learning. It is the pandemic teaching. It is the emergency remote teaching that is going on. It is not the normal virtual learning. Though we have adapted, I am really, the way you said, we should applaud all the educators. The way they have, come up with this technology, it is remarkable. But then it is not the solution. It is just, we were trying to find out the solution for a situation about which we do not have any experience. None of us can say, I have experienced this before, so I can, give you this thing. We do not have this experience. So we have to bring this in stages, the curriculum. Stage one, like we had only 1.5 hour class initially. Stage two, we made the class, for 2.5 hours. Now we have gone, for the senior classes also 4 hours. Junior classes are also having 3 hours. So it has to be a very gradual process. We have to proceed slowly. We cannot overwhelm the students. We have to keep it short and simple initially. I know it's going to be 6 long months, maybe more than that. By the time, we are going to think about the school ecosystem. We have to decode what is going to be there in after 6 months. But then we have to plan it very, very gradually. We have to keep it simple for our students. We cannot let the things overwhelm them. Even if it is a new topic that if a teacher is teaching, she will have to pace it out. It has to be flexible. For 45 minutes, she cannot, I feel like a teacher should not go on lecturing. Maybe 15 minutes, he has given the, some topic he has talked about. And then next 15 minutes, maybe practice on that. An assignment before the session, assignment after the session. And that way, curriculum will have to be, reduced a bit. We will have to work out our curriculum. We will have to rethink about the whole thing.
Very true, ma'am. We have to basically unlearn the learning.
Yes,
exactly.
Initially, there was, we used to say, think out of the box. And now the situation is there is no box at all. So you have to keep on thinking in each and every possible direction, all the permutation and combination. Moving on further, where Alka ma'am had left, I will take on from there again. How important is for all the stakeholders, the school, and the school again, the management, the children, the teachers, and the parents. Are they partners in providing education to the child? And if they are actually a partner, are they equal partners, or what is the share of their percentage in delivering the education to the child? Because when we talk about economic conditions as of now, majority of the parents are not wanting to pay the tuition fee also. So are they acting like a responsible partner? So what is the definition of the stakeholder as of now in this scenario of COVID-19?
So I think we all are important stakeholders, and we all are in the partnership of taking care of the learning graph of the child. But then these days, in this situation of pandemic, the role of parents is definitely more important. Why? Because the child is with them 24/7. So I think we can go ahead with the curriculum where we expose students to a lot of hands-on activities. The skill of creativity can actually be nurtured at this stage. So parents have to be oriented accordingly, that there are few things for which they will have to take care at this time. They will have to spend more time with their kids. Although we keep we are ourselves available in the evening also, there are some connectivity issues in the morning and we are not able to hold the class in that manner. So in the child, wherever they are in pre-primary, primary, or in middle school, so it is important that we divide the curriculum in such a way that we take on to these, nurture these skills of creativity. I believe storytelling is an important resource these days, which helps us getting into family ties also. And I've seen parents sitting with children laughing when the theater teacher comes and talks about a story. So where gone are those days, we never had time to sit like this in a family. And then I'm sure parents, children will also remember this, that maybe they will not remember corona, they will remember how the parent had risen to the occasion and helped out the child academically also. And maybe what would have been done by a teacher when the child was in the school, but now comes from parent. So I think everything is all about developing a bond with the parents. So we as teachers also have to walk that extra mile to connect with them much better and make them understand that we are all sailing through the same boat. We are all actually trying that. In my school, I'll just share one experience. We were taking phonics, and there was phonetics were going on in a junior class. And then parents were not trained about it. So they had little issues. So they requested that why can't we hold a workshop for them? Because
Right.
it would be good for them to learn phonics at this stage. Otherwise, normally we don't do this for parents. So we organized that. Similarly, few parents requested for a class on Vedic mathematics. So because we were giving them some short tricks how to come up with good mental mathematics and solve these things in primary and middle level. So parents also wanted to learn. I think one has to take it as an opportunity, because parents were there sitting with the child in the class. They themselves were supervising, monitoring, and they could actually develop a better bond with the children, with the teachers also in this scenario, because they could see how teachers were taking that much of pain and then walking that extra mile, ensuring that kids do understand that, yes, don't worry, I'm there, right?
Very well said, ma'am. Very well said.
I, I would like to talk about the third pillar of our stakeholders, the teachers. We are missing out on the teachers here. I feel there's a few things that as schools we have to do for our teachers. How can we help our teachers empower, ensure deeper learning, ensure deeper thinking? You know, we are just forgetting. We are thinking about students, we are thinking about parents, management, but teacher who is, you know, actually leading at this time.
Soldiers of today.
Yeah, they are. Like if we say they are the doctors and nurses, they are, you know, healing the world. I think teachers are shaping the world.
If
The
I was,
educators are shaping the world.
I
So
would just,
how can
I would just pitch in, Alka ma'am, and then you can carry on. If anyone in the education ministry is listening to this webinar, or maybe after the recording, maybe there is some Sunday wherein the helicopters and the planes will be shouting patterns for the teachers also across the nation.
Right.
because everyone is focusing about school and education and learning and tuition fees and salaries and all that stuff. How many have actually clapped for the educators who are working not from home? It is working 24 by 7.
Yes,
Initially, it was work from
exactly.
home and it is working 24 by 7. Principals and HOS were already working for 24 by 7 in even in their real life. But the teachers, they are working 24 by 7 and they have to don the role of a daughter-in-law, a daughter, a wife, a mother-in-law also, and at the same time be available during the school hours, decked up, fully prepared in the morning from 8 to 2 and manage the entire household also. So let's here virtually clap for all the teachers, you young ladies and all the teachers for their contribution to the time which they have given in this pandemic situation. So we hope that next Sunday some flowers will be showered on the teachers also.
Yes, they are the front runners.
Not the front
You
runner.
know,
In
yeah,
fact,
like
to begin with online teaching also, teachers had to be trained initially and suddenly
Very
everything
true.
changes. So in our school, we made all the teachers do the online course of Future Learn. So that is how we started. And of course, then things went on Zoom. And then I believe in my school, with a partnership, strong partnership of parents, we were able to shift it to Microsoft Teams. I have
Also shifted to Microsoft Teams only.
Yes,
yeah,
I'm
it is
reminded of the time when
see,
I'm reminded of the time when during Mr. Rajiv Gandhi's time when he was the Prime Minister and he had digitized the entire banking system of the country, and many of the banking staff they were not
Computer trained.
comfortable with the computerized system of banking and there were protests on the national bank, and that is the time when the private banks came into the boom. So they adapted to that mode of teaching, and now is the time when all the teachers, whatever subject they are teaching, they have become tech savvy.
Very true.
They have started learning in whatever way they are from whatever houses or whatever resources they have, whatever internet facility they have. The school is not providing internet facility, so they are providing from their data card or whatever low facilities they are providing from their mobiles or tablets, laptops or PCs. So everyone has risen to the occasion and not stepped back and said no that we will not teach. Be it a PT teacher or the art and craft teacher or the dance teacher or whatever,
Very.
all the teachers have risen to the occasion.
You know, earlier it was said invention is the mother of necessity. Now
Yes,
the necessity has become the mother of invention.
right, very true,
All
ma'am.
the
Very true.
teachers now they know how to use computers. And once the schools reopen, it's going to be a very powerful thing in the hand of a teacher. Actually teaching in the class and then in the evenings, these slow learners are benefited a lot. Now the teacher's role has risen to a level where it is not just teaching a normal class. She's teaching slow learners separately. She's got time to give time to the children, those who are good at their job, and they're giving extra assignments. I think the parents are appreciating these online classes a lot. And when I think about the teachers, those who were in the classes, tackling all the students and the children going home, building up stories, I did not understand. My mom did not teach me the right way. Now the parents can say, hold on, the teacher taught you the right way. You did not listen it correct.
Very true, ma'am. As a multiple intelligence counselor, we used to focus on that every child is unique and every child is different and everyone has a talent.
Very
Now
true.
is a time when most of the teachers who were just limited to their subjects have become leaders.
I'll
Once
just
they actually start coming to the school physically, you will be seeing, all of us will be seeing lot many changes in many of these girls who have risen to the occasion. Their communication skills must have improved, be it Hindi or English or whatever. Their way of handling parents remotely, relationship issues, trust issues would have definitely changed them into a
Yes.
more better human being, and they would be more responsible how to tackle a situation in this challenging and times where when we say there is a situation. So now all of them, I think, must have become leaders, which they already were, but they were not given the chance to prove themselves. Now everyone would be willing to come on stage and share their experiences of how they have handled the situation. So that is the best thing I think for the teacher fraternity and for the principals also, that they will be finding new talents apart from their academic heads, new talents that this teacher has risen to the occasion, or did the back office job in such a great way by coordinating and implementing. And also we should applaud the role of the front desk people, the accounts department. These people also have been the role model and the backbone of the school fraternity, where they are day night dealing with the parents, calling them for various issues, typing and doing technical things. So they have also been very, very important role in this pandemic time.
I think schools have now become more than a platform of knowledge.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I would like to, give the word to what Geeta said. Geeta was talking about, about the slow learners and all. I'll say we could not have done differentiated learning any better. We are, the way we have been able to do the differentiated learning in this pandemic situation, that is remarkable. We are able to collaborate with the weak, the slow learners. We are able to give more challenging things to the high achievers. So it's, we have become more of a knowledge hub
Yes,
rather than, and we're counseling parents more. So
yes.
it is, our role has become, I think, much more than is expected. We are not only dealing with
transparent in front of the parents, totally
yeah.
transparent.
And to
So
put it on a lighter side, if any parent is listening, so I request all the parents to pay their monthly tuition fees on time.
True that.
Now, moving on, what are the academic and development challenges?
Can I please add something?
Yeah, yes, ma'am, please, yeah.
I think the role of teachers who take on to co-curricular activities is also redefined these days, because
Very true, very
initially
true.
we did not go for it, and then there was a need for it because too much of academics could not work, and then we wanted that these teachers should also step in. And there was a real innovation when a dance teacher, a music teacher comes up, and a theater teacher talks about the art and craft, because there was so much of creativity being nurtured when these ideas floated. At the same time, I believe the Fit India movement by CBSE, it was a really
Yes,
real thing.
game changer. It's a game
Their
changer.
lectures, their talks about nutrition, the yoga, the meditation, and of course the child psychiatrists talking to the parents. And we could create a vibrant environment where there were children getting up early in the morning and doing yoga these days, even parents joining them, the videos uploaded. So I think it was a good time to be in wonderful partnership with parents. So it's all about school home partnership.
True, ma'am. Moving on, what are the academic and development challenges in terms of persist social, economical, and physical you perceive the children time are facing during this time? How are they coping up with these three parameters, the social, economic, and the physical challenges they are facing as related to the academics part?
see,
How has it impacted them socially, economically, mentally, physically? They have been devoid of their friends. They have not stepped out of their houses. The adults have the liberty of going from their houses for buying whatever, but the kids till the grade of say middle school level, they have been in isolation.
Yeah.
So they are not allowed to. They are not allowed to be a child.
Very true.
During this time, they have become adults.
Yes.
I think I'll again come back to, that Maslow before Bloom. So, we have to go for our basic needs have to be met first before the academic learning can be fully embraced. So we have to, we have to make them feel secure. We have to look into their well-being. And where Anjali ma'am just said, I'll come to that. What are, teachers are doing, the yoga teachers, our counselors, they are stepping in at that time, and we are giving them, a more holistic, I think, curriculum to go ahead with it, so that it is not just the academic progress that we are talking about. We are looking into their basic needs. We are telling them, find you secure. There was a time when the parent used to, the moment they used to leave their child outside the school and the child had entered the school, the parent was very calm. The parent knew that my child is safe. So now, all those concerns, the parent, there is a lot of dilemma in the parents as well. It is not only child who has this isolation thing,
Ma'am,
parent also is, all these. So as teachers, we are working on both the parents as well as students. We will
How
have to.
has it, how has it affected the mind of the child? Like 24/7, any child or anyone in the house would be listening to this conversation that my shop is closed, business is not working, the economy is not working, पापा घर पे हैं, ऑफिस नहीं जा पा रही हैं, मम्मा फीस कहाँ से देंगी? So the economics, the child of 2 years, 3 years is hearing 24/7, पैसा नहीं है, पैसा खत्म हो गया, कहाँ से लाएंगे, ये नहीं है, वो नहीं है. And then there is a rise in domestic violence, child abuse.
We are
Recently, re-
educating.
See, this is
recently there
very
was this incident
important
of
actually.
unfortunate incident in the boys' locker room. So has domestic violence increased between the adults, the abuse of child in the house, the child who used to be free when he or she was away from the house now is 24/7 confined in the house. So how is the child coping with that? Has the child started eating too much, or if the child is not eating, the physical activities are literally nil? So how has this impacted the children, the small young kids, apart from the academics?
See, 100% all the pointers, sir, that you're saying are very, very relevant. Not to all, but some point to some, but some child, some to the other. But yes, this is very unfortunate. And practically saying we cannot actually give a solution to a particular family. We can't tell the parents, okay, you have to wait for the child to sleep. You have to go to a separate room to discuss about your financial things, because we cannot do that at this point of time. Just to cope up with this, we as our school, we're doing counseling sessions with the parents as well as with the students. So the students are being counseled. We know they're very young to understand all this, but we are giving them various activities to do during those counseling sessions to come up and have that breather out. Everybody, every child is full of energy, and that energy needs to be utilized in a very effective way. So we are also having PE classes in the evening. In the morning, we are having our normal academic classes along with co-curricular activities, music, dance, and all. In the evening, we are having PE classes so that the energy inside the child is better utilized.
Ma'am,
We
could you
have
please
to
Child is able to
elaborate?
come out of it.
our
Can you
parents.
please elaborate on the PE classes? What are the like? What is exactly that? मतलब, the
So
could be.
PE classes are the physical education classes.
Okay,
So
okay,
all the physical education teachers are taking classes in the evening.
okay.
30-minute slots have been given, whereas in the parents and the students have been advised to keep the mobile phone, laptop, whatever they're using, far away from them, and the teachers are doing exercises. And parents have really appreciated that the child is actually jumping, hopping, and the entire group of children is doing it together. So when the teacher is doing it, suppose the teacher says, oh, let's start jumping, and we have to jump 20 times. 20 times is the minimum. Let's see how much maximum can you jump. So that is where the energy of the child is utilized.
Great, ma'am. Anjali, ma'am, yeah.
I would just like to add that, see, you cannot go on with the syllabus and academic all the time. Sometimes it is
Yes.
very important to give little more space to children, because we have to understand that now they are missing friends. They don't have any scope of chatting. So sometimes the teacher also needs to talk to them about their experience of the online classes. And of course, there are ways you can throw some brain teasers to them. You can always start with your class with one good problem which makes them think. So it's all about engaging children in a positive manner, and in fact channelizing their energy. I think teachers need to understand they have to be empowered enough to be a wonderful connect between the school and the students. So one has to try one's level best that the class environment is not really lost. We just have to define some rules in the beginning, that this is how the class will go on. But then sometimes if you have finished within 15-20 minutes, why not have a simple talk and interaction where children come up, they burst out their emotions also. And I've seen that sometimes my teachers, they are sharing, come on, this is the cake I made, and her own creativity, teachers creativity is being shared with children. And because I am a parent also, my son also studies in the same school, so as such naturally I am a part of so many classes. And I mean, I really enjoy it, that if that kind of connect students and teachers have, that teachers also feel like sharing their achievements with the students. So
That's a very interesting, Anjali ma'am, that's a very interesting thing. You are the principal and you are the mother. How is your son coping with you as the principal and mother 24/7 in this school?
See, as such, I am a part of the of each and every group. So I can, of course, I do join some of the other class every day and on random basis. And of course, I give them the teachers feedback in the evening, tell them that what was good about. Let's start with what was the strength of the class, isn't it? And then, of course, what are the areas where we can improve. So I think the role of a principal has also been redefined in this scenario,
Yes,
because you have to keep the morale of your teachers high. We must understand it is not only
Create a balance between. We
Right.
need to create a balance.
we need to hold meetings again and again. We need to talk to them. We can't be just task givers. We cannot be saying that this is the task is to be done and this is the last day to meet it. So I remember when I was having discussions with my teachers during a meeting, Zoom meeting only, then I actually realized that there is a need of a parent educator meeting. A PTM is needed. So we floated a circular to parents. And then again, we were struggling. Come on, how will we do it? So we have started, but then how will we do it? So then we found out a way that let's have a 40-minute session. Let's have all 5 subject teachers getting connected to this class teacher. So parents are also connected during those 40 minutes. So all teachers speak a little about their experience and then what are they expecting. And then parents were given little scope. So we had to set rules. So whenever you are designing something new, that helps you nurture your own creativity also. I mean, now this is the scene. How will you meet it? So then wonderful suggestions came from parents. I remember one of the parents suggested that let's not have classes on Saturdays because the screen time is too much for the children.
right.
So let's
Same
have
is the problem we're facing, yeah.
only the remedial. So we incorporated that. So I think it has been a process of evolution. So if you make parents as partners in the process of learning, it is a time when the complete society can be lifted up, I must say.
Very true, ma'am. Very true. Very true.
Also, I would wanted to add,
Yes,
like,
ma'am, I was coming to you only. Yes, yeah.
the way we're talking about educating the parents, organizing the yoga classes for the parents, dance classes for the parents, we have done that and parents have very enthusiastically participated. That is again taking them to your side. The way we are feeling that, they're going towards another corner. So involve the parents with yourselves. Tell them we have to educate
Tomorrow is
them.
Mother's Day.
Yeah, Mother's Day also. In between every Saturday.
Today, the mothers are all geared up. They're all ready and they all participated, sharing videos with us. So we've designed many online competitions also for the mothers, also for the children also. So everybody is more enthusiastic. We have to involve on a weekly basis.
Yeah, but we have yoga class for the parents every Saturday.
Oh,
they have it in the morning or in the evening. Yeah, so they are a part of it. And these things, this is how we are going to, we are ensuring that their safety net is there, they're secure, they're feeling secure, they're talking to their children, they're talking to their students about the screen time also. We are educating them about the screen time, that when the teacher is teaching, this is an interactive time, this is not the screen time. Screen time
Life
comes.
skill teaching. Basically, it's life skill teaching during this time, because tomorrow again, I wish all the mothers a happy Mother's Day to everyone.
thank you so
Again,
much.
every school tomorrow is organizing a virtual dance session or some beauty session or cooking session or a cake session, bake a cake. We in our school are asking our fathers and kids to bake a cake for their mothers and wives. So a dance session by our choreographing team. So innovation again, innovation, because earlier the principal used to have plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. Now they have plan A to Z. So what if now?
Yes.
What if now? What if now? What if now? So they have become the brigadiers and the commanders of the unsung heroes, who are the children who are studying under 24/7. The parents who are supposed to be helicopter parents, now they have become, I don't know, what do we call them? So it's, the pros and cons and the boons and banes of the act of God. But we have to live with it, as our chief minister said. We have to live with Corona. So we should understand what exactly is to handle a situation and how to come out with the situation. So like a very famous serial I was watching, Money Heist. So everyone has become a professor now. So you should have a plan and for each and everything. And to sum up, again, a 1 minute suggestion from each and everyone: how to make the learning effective and sustainable during the pandemic, starting from Anjali ma'am. 1 minute each. Before we throw this for question and answer round.
Dr. Gupta, I feel that teacher is the thread who actually connects the students with the school, with, of course, the parents. So we have to have our teachers who are inspired, who are motivated, who are empowered. And from core of my heart, these days I salute the greatest teacher on earth, who is Lord Krishna. I mean, who could actually motivate Arjuna to pick up the Gandiv, and in such a demotivated environment, such a situation of frustration and distress, when Arjuna had just said that he would not go for the fight at all, but Lord Krishna was able to bring him up from that scenario. So I think whatever may be the scene, and we are definitely in much better situation. So all our teachers will have to rise as Corona warriors. Will have to go by the teachings of Lord Krishna and ensure that a teacher at heart, if he or she is connected with the student, can actually bring up the student from any situation of pandemic.
Very truly said, ma'am. Very truly. So
That's
you
all.
are the Krishna and all your teachers are Arjuna, right?
They have to look
Geeta
up.
ma'am. Yes, Geeta ma'am.
Sir, I will just sum up in a sentence saying you develop the love for learning, teach them how to learn, and your job is done. Whether it is an actual classroom, whether you're teaching online classes, if the students are listening to you, if they are connected to you, if they love you, and you teach them how to learn, basically it is set induction. If the things are induced properly, your job is done. If the child knows that my teacher is going to tell me something which is going to be of my interest, I am in touch with my teacher is just talking about me, my job is done. Coming to a class, whether it is a normal classroom or coming to an online class, you come with something different in the class. Do something different. Everybody will be listening to you.
Right.
If everybody is listening to you, if everybody is interested to listen to you, your job is done.
Perfect. Welcome, ma'am. Your last comment. 1 minute.
All right, I'll just say teaching is all about love, passion, empathy, and let's not forget change. Teaching is about change, and change is the only thing that's constant. And this pandemic remote teaching is that change on which we are just coming up so strongly. We are growing, we are not perfect. Parents should not see us as the a symbol of perfection. Let the teachers grow. When we are saying we are empowering our teachers, please empower them. They might also be feeling isolated like a parent, like a student. So, we have to bring this fraternity together. That is why we are having these webinars, on and off. Why are we telling the teachers to, join some webinar or the other? To stay connected so that the teacher is not isolated. So we have to connect the teachers. We have to stay strong. We have to shape the world. So that's how I would end. And we have to make the students stay connected as well.
Very true, ma'am. So
And
before we throw,
let's
yes, ma'am. Please carry on. Yeah.
I'm saying let's chase excellence to get perfection.
Perfect, ma'am. Perfect. It's a time to nurture, nourish, and do what we have not done. Never ever have I done this. So this line, never say ever, never say never. So to sum up this thing before we throw any question and answer, it's basically involving the child with the teacher, involving the child and the teacher with the parent, involving the parent with the family, involving the child with the family. How can a teacher during virtual learning engage a child by opening out herself, by sharing her hobbies, by sharing how she loves to cook or how she sings or how she eats, and then asking the child to replicate the same thing, doing playful activities in a very jovial way, experiential learning, hands-on learning, asking the parents to revert to the assignments which have been shared by the teachers to them on a regular basis, being in touch. Now the main thing is the child is disconnected from the classmates. So we can have a session wherein a teacher, under the supervision of the teacher, obviously, through Zoom or through whatever means of communication, we can have a group of children sitting and they can share each other and say hi, hello to each other and share their experiences during the corona. What do they understand about corona? So that the child is not devoid of his or her classmates also during this time. The teachers themselves can have a group meeting, which they used to have on every Saturday, discuss about what is going on in the school. So they can share their experiences as a human being. Again, Anjali ma'am said a parent-teacher meeting is the need of the hour, so we can develop a parent-teacher meeting also on Zoom with selected hours, selected curriculum. So the thing is, we have to be very interactive. We have to be working 24 by 7, thinking 24 by 7, and assuming that this is an ongoing process. And again, once I say we have to live with it. Either we live with it or we don't live with it. So children who are not wanting to be virtually capable, or the teachers are not wanting to be tech savvy, they have to fasten up their belts, otherwise they will be left behind. So it's become a rat race also. Every school, every office is developing new techniques to enter the premises of the parents for giving maximum quality education. So we have to focus on quality rather than bombarding the children and the parents with loads and loads of education, which is of no use. As Anjali Madam initially said, communication is a two-way tool. If the teacher is teaching, the child has to learn also. So we should not just finish the curriculum, we should make sure that the teaching and learning gap is bridged, and whatever the teacher is teaching, in whatever circumstances she is teaching, that teaching should be effectively imbibed by the entire family. And the respect for the teaching fraternity should rise, I think. Like Finland, the most respected job in the country is teaching. Here, unfortunately, we become teachers out of, most of the teachers become teachers out of safety and whatever reasons. So we have, this thing will change, I suppose, after Corona. Parents and the entire society will look up to teachers as their role models. So I think we have done thoroughly with all the. Yes.
Since there are many educators, I just wanted, two questions for everyone to ponder before we next meet. Number one is, you will have to rethink about the school ecosystem, what is going to be in future, and then decoding the unpredictables in the future of schooling.
Perfect.
I think this is something we should start working on as the school leaders.
Perfect.
We cannot escape this for longer.
And once the school reopens, we have to be very, very precautious about the sanitizing habits and the hygiene habits. The entire infrastructure needs to be redone for kids who are basically coming from different peripherals of the city to a particular campus. So lot of thinking has to be done during this time when so many things will change. How do we dress? How do we talk? How do we maintain our hygiene? And how do we respect each other during times of challenges? So I think Corona, everything has a plus and a minus sign. So it has given a lot of negativity. The thing is, it will come with various positive things also. Initially, it was stay away from negative people. Now we say stay away from positive people. But these things will change with passage of time. So I think during the time of Diwali, when hopefully, what is the rumor is, the schools will be opening in October, mostly the primary wings. So let's see. This year brings a lot of joy and lot of happiness once it's done in this first academic year, and the second quarter is already gone.
We should not be surprised if the teachers come with that PPE gear and to teach.
Yes, we should. Yesterday only I shared one video in our WhatsApp group which is circulated in a school in China, where the child is coming with this face mask and the teacher is standing at the gate in a PPE kit receiving, and then scanning and then sanitizing and then walking through the tunnel and then all that stuff. And the child is then washing the hands and then entering into the school premises. So I think this is a need of the hour. So it might be the Indian context also in 4-5 months.
But I think, sir, there are 2-3 learnings from Corona. We have learned simplicity is important, gratitude is important. Shukar karna hame aana chahiye.
Yes, ma'am.
And let us count on the blessings. And we have all learned to respect the nature. You see, the rivers, the air, the trees and plant. I mean, at least this generation understands. we're just having these videos, WhatsApp videos of masks. Now we are actually moving with masks only. So we had thought this time would come later.
Few years ago, when
We always laughed at it.
few years ago, when we used to see these people from Korea and Japan, they used to wear masks. We
Yes.
used to laugh. The world used to laugh. Now everyone is bound to wear it. And as Mr. Ratan Tata perfectly said, it's not about business which you take into 21, it's your family which you take into 21. So everyone should be safe and healthy and corona free. So that is the biggest challenge for head of the family and head of the school, where we take our entire fraternity into the year 21 with good and positive vibes. So let's open the round for question and answer. Mr. Aman. Mr. Aman.
I see one question from Arvinder. I would like to answer that. She is talking about the screen time.
Yeah.
I'm just going through that. I was just checking the chat right now,
Yes,
and she's
yes,
talking about the screen time. Arvinder, if you're here, I would like to answer. This is not the screen time. When we are talking about increasing screen time, that is when the child is doing your Facebook or Instagramming or Twittering. That is the screen time. When you are teaching them, that is not the screen time. That is the interactive time. That is the time when the child is using. The teachers are giving them some knowledge. So screen time on apps in isolation is harmful. Right, but when we are offering, what we are doing right now is interactive with high quality content, and so it is a social component. It is not an isolated thing, so it's a social component. So that is why you are not increasing the screen time. But in case you are doing it in isolation, you are just Twittering, you are just Instagramming, that is when you increase the screen time.
The camera.
One question from Ms. Vandana Bhatia. How to make up for 6 months academic loss in primary classes?
I think, see, through various activities, one can, like in our school, we have 2 programs like MindSpark and Metafic. These are programs in mathematics. So what we are doing, we are opening up the channels for these programs for the students. So when we are doing some teaching as far as the class is concerned, after that, this program again runs, and it helps children go at their own pace of learning. So I think we will be able to cover up few things because of this. So you have to design the activities. The teacher has to start the class with the activity, right? So the activity, of course, has to be age appropriate and very, very relevant, so that everybody is connected, and we need to cover up. We cannot be waiting that for 6 months we won't be teaching anything. I mean, that's not possible. That kind of, see, one has to plan for the blended teaching. Now a scene of flipped classrooms will be there. It is natural. We cannot escape that.
Again, Ms. Vandana Bhatia asking it's her statement, I'm not like vouching for it. Some parents are not qualified enough, or some parents are working from home. In these situations, how to include parents in the learning process?
I think we did take up this thing in the beginning. If you remember, when we said that, talk to the parents, send them tips. We teachers are qualified, parents are not even qualified. So, you'll have to send the parents the tips to help their children with the tools that they need. So maybe, show them a day before, you'll have to send the creative. This is what we are doing right now as well. A day before in the evening, the teacher is sending the creative that I'll need these flashcards. Senior students are able to manage on their own. The major problem is with the primary and the kindergarten group. So, give them the sample, send them a flashcard. This is what we'll be requiring tomorrow. Tell the parent to, read aloud a story to them, make a quiz, give it to the parent, to do it with the child. So you will have to involve the parent in a very positive way. You'll have to take the parent to your side. The parent is presently on the other side of the system. You will have to bring the parent to your side. You will have to.
The problem is for the working parents. I think man was asking about the working parents.
Yes.
So the working parents have their limited resources. For example, mom and dad both are working, and there are 2 laptops at home. Both the laptops are being used. How does the child get to attend the class? In such a scenario, we are recording the classes, and those recordings are available for 48 hours. So the parents, as per their convenient time, can sit with the child, show the recorded videos. So yes, the child cannot be a part of the live classroom, but the live classroom recording can be shown to the child in case the parents are working.
That was a very good suggestion, because we also run like a play in a primary wing, and most of the children are not Zoom savvy. Obviously, we cannot expect a child of 2.5 or 3 years to sit on Zoom. And since the primary wing, the live teaching had to be shown, the parents started complaining, this is our time for working from home in the morning. So how do, and we have a limited gadgets, obviously. So then we came up with this idea, as Geeta ma'am correctly said, we should upload the activities on the broadcast list of the parents, and they are free to use it anytime and then send to the teachers. So the school has to keep on molding as per the parental requirement. One question from Sakshi Vasich to everyone. Happy and grateful to be in this session. My question is how to assess the learning on regular basis, except the online interaction, because the test, and she has not written. Basically, it's what Anjali madam initially said and Alka had asked, how do you vouch for the assessment of the test which you are taking? Is the child taking help of any family member, or is the child actually learning? Well, how to assess whether the child has actually attempted the test on his own? This
So
is what
we are doing quizzes. The platform that we are using is Microsoft Teams. I think through Zoom, I am not very sure. Zoom does not give you the platform for MCQs, but yes, Microsoft Teams gives it to you. It's a time bound. You can have n number of questions. The teacher need not even check those MCQs, because the platform itself does it, because it is computerized. Because we five are sitting and attempting those questions, the teacher has already prepared a questionnaire, say 20 questions, 0.5 mark each. So that means it's a 10 marker question. Right. And the teacher has supposed taught a topic today, and she says tomorrow is your test in the morning. So the class begins at 10. She publishes the MCQ or that quiz during that time. Everybody does it together. Within 10 minutes, they have to submit it. Okay. I think that's the best we can do at this point of time. Plus, we have also started with oral assessments with the students. And the oral assessments, the child is doing it right in front of you, roll number wise or whatever the name is being called out. So our oral assessments, our written tests are going simultaneously.
I'll just add on to it. My thing is, it is not grading that matters right now. It is the success. Focus on success. You know, even if you're giving them the quizzes, go for open book tests. Open book test is the best way, at least, even if they are, you have that element of Indian thing that they might be cheating, but they are reading. Even if they're cheating, they're reading. So I think that open book.
The teaching has to be driven. You can't take the child in your lap and move around. You have to show the path, show the distance, that this is the point where you have to reach. And now how you reach, with what speed you reach, is your problem.
And go for formative assessment. If you can go for, tell the child to write a blog, tell the child to write an article, tell the child to write an experience. Make your assessment formative. Do not make your assessment objective or subjective right now. It will be too overwhelming for the students. Make it very, very formative. And someone had just said some tools also.
Yeah, I was coming to that. What are the media tools?
If you could try, go for Flipgrid, Padlet. So in Flipgrid, suppose Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So now in the Flipgrid, every child has to give a 1-minute video sharing her experiences. The video limit can be yours. The teacher has to decide the video limit, and they have to post it on the Flipgrid, which the teacher will create. So, and it is not published till I'll approve it. The moment I approve it, it is published, and then everyone can see. So it is a Flipgrid, and it is very successful with the students. Go for Padlet. Padlet, they have to write the comments on whatever question you give about. Maybe you tell them to do this exercise and share their experience. How did they come to this answer? So use such tools. Seesaw app.
Universally, all the academic institutions are adapting their own means and modes. Like my son is studying in UBC Vancouver. He had his exam for mathematics. So there was this thing, which is a software in his laptop where the entire room was scanned. You cannot look up or down. If your eyes are like here or there, you are debarred from giving the exam for the mathematics portion. And they had to attempt the paper and then scan it and upload it. But for the economics exam, there was no such thing. So each and every teacher and each and every subject has its own positive plus and minus things. So how do you vouch for that? One point which I raised was in Kansha Agarwal, a very good question I had asked all of you. In case a child has some problem like abuse is happening in the home and not able to share his feelings and he has to share but the parents are always around. How to talk with such child in this situation? A very, very relevant question and very relevant.
Now, what is the age group of the child?
The person has not mentioned the child, but I assume a child is a child. If the child is not able to speak, the child could be a child who's studying in class 12 also, or a child could be in a kindergarten also. Because social abuses generally are not discussed in families when the entire family is in the house. Maybe the child discussed with the father or the mother or the grandmother, but this time everyone is in the house and everyone does not have the liberty of living in 4-5 rooms or one floors. Many of the families in India worldwide are living in 1 room or 2 rooms. So they have this limitation of sharing because the entire family and the person who is abusing is a family member. So how to share?
This is where I am talking about my formative assessment that would come. When I'm telling a child to write a blog, when I'm telling a child to, just write an article or write his experiences, if a teacher is very attentive, she'll get the clues.
But ma'am, if the child is suppose of say 2 years and a 3 years child and he or she is not writing a blog or not able to use technology,
then the teacher will have to be,
abuse can start at any age.
Then the teacher will have to be very vigilant, very vigilant. She will have to look for signs, the verbal signs from the child, and she will have
to the child.
But how will the child?
To the child that the child takes you into confidence.
Yes,
how you will have to be very, very alert, and you will have to talk to the parent. If the child is isolated, not speaking anything, no matter the parent is offended or what, you will have to involve the parent that this child is not speaking. Or I see a red mark over here. If you think he's physically abused, or you can see that what is wrong with the child today? What is wrong with Sana today? Why is she behaving like this? Did she not sleep well last night? Such questions. Once you will ask the parent, twice you will ask the parent. Parent would also be alert that the teacher is taking notes of the, behavior pattern in the child. If the teacher is making a note of the behavior pattern, if the teacher is, conveying it to the parent, even if the child has not said anything, we have to be very vigilant. And a teacher, has, I feel, not 8 eyes. We have around 16 or 18 eyes. We look everywhere. The moment the child sits with us, we have, that sixth sense comes into us somehow, and we know something is wrong with this child. And that is something we'll have to rely on. We will have to talk to the parent. We'll have to tell, we'll just question, did he not sleep well last night? Why is he so lethargic today? Why is he so isolated? Why is he not participating, ma'am? Please get him good sleep tonight. Let him, complete his work on time. Such small interventions, which are not direct interventions, but these will eventually help the child.
One thing I would like to add, like all the state governments have lifted the ban on sale of liquor.
Right.
And most of the family members and most of the liquor, I suppose, is consumed majorly by males. So most of them are right now in their houses. So how is it going to affect the overall scenario vis-a-vis the child relation, the domestic abuse, the domestic violence? The economic conditions going to negative, and still the people are madly rushing to liquor shops and standing for 4 to 5 hours and buying a bottle of, what should I say, a disaster.
I totally agree to that. Only the counseling of the parents can help. See, the parents have to be vigilant, and how they become vigilant is when we counsel them. Only our counseling can help, whether it is a physical abuse, whether it is a oral abuse to a child, whether it is drinking liquor, or misbehaving or giving a wrong impression to the child. The parents have to be sensitized that your actions will definitely disturb your ward. And if you are
sanitize as well as sensitize both.
Yeah,
24/7, sanitize and sensitized.
Yeah, 100%, sir. sensitize also and sanitize also. And they need to carry on.
Yes, they need to carry on.
I would
Yes,
just
sir,
like to
Anjulika.
add,
We as teachers, we as mentors cannot be at their place.
Yes,
We
obviously.
can talk about it, we can sensitize them, we can groom them, we can have counseling sessions, but they are responsible for their conduct. See, when we talk
So-
about the practicality of the situation,
Aman is
practicality,
chipping in now.
I'm
Aman-
abruptly wanting. I'm so very sorry, Geeta ma'am. It'll be another 2 minutes before Zoom logs us out. Okay, so
Oh.
time is a constraint now. I know. I mean, this interaction can go for another couple of hours. But I'll kind of, before we abruptly, I don't want to say abruptly bye to each one of you.
got it.
Yeah. So Rajiv sir, बोल सकता हूँ? I have the liberty.
मैं एक अपना रोल अदा कर लेता हूँ. आज मैं संकेत उपाध्याय बन जाता हूँ, एनडीटीवी वाला. मैं बोलता हूँ सब मैडम को 10-10 सेकंड दिए जाते हैं लास्ट में बस बोलने के लिए. 10 सेकंड के बाद बस स्टार्ट ऑन. 10 seconds to अंजलि मैम, 10 to अलका मैम, 10 to गीता मैम.
10 ही है फिर.
Yes, ma'am. 10 seconds, ma'am, Anjali ma'am.
so I feel it is important. The whole thing is about connection. So we need to learn to connect with the society in a different manner. So we need to just evolve ourselves, adaptable, and also be a proud Indian. See, the way India has emerged at this. So right time to give that right value to the students.
अपना time आएगा. गीता ma'am, yes.
So I would really thank this platform at this point of time, and I would say learning has to go on, and we have to do it. If we have that enthusiasm that we have to teach our children, nothing can stop us. Nothing, no corona, no online teaching, no thing. The things you have the that love to teach. Your things will reach your students.
लगे रहो.
अलका
अलका
ma'am.
गानी ma'am.
So our teachers are our front runners, and I would say let's keep on, shaping the world. Let the doctors heal the world. Let's shape the world.
Well, very true that.
हंसेगा इंडिया, मुस्कुराएगा इंडिया, जीतेगा इंडिया और खिलखिलाएगा इंडिया.
So finally, thank you everyone. Sir, 30 seconds बचे हैं. So 30 seconds
आपके
left.
लिए समझ कर रहा हूँ. जब भी हंसेगा, जब भी खिलखिलाएगा, जब अमन बख्शी जी एडुवेल के अंदर उसको थोड़ा सा और वेलनेस प्रोग्राम एनरिच करेंगे.
Thank
Now
you.
I hand over to Aman ji. Thank you very much.
Thanks everyone. Thanks Alka ma'am. Thanks Anjali ma'am. Thanks
Thank you
Geeta
so
ma'am.
much, Mr.
Thank you so
Aman.
much,
Thank you so
Rajiv
much,
sir. And
thank you so much.
this is just
Lovely
the tip
being-
of the iceberg. We will be coming with more such webinars, and would appreciate if you can join us for the further webinars. And if you have any questions, kindly do send it to aman@eduvellplanet.com, and we will get them answered for you. All right. Thank you so much. Take care, everyone. Be
Thank you so
safe.
much.
Bye.
A salute to all
Stay
the
home, stay
teachers.
safe.
A salute to all the teachers.
Same
And
here.
hopefully, Mr. Prime Minister will allow the Defense Ministry to shower petals on all the teachers across the country.
Take care. Be safe, everyone. Thank you so
Lovely
much.
meeting all of you. Thank you so very much. Thank you.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.
With you all.
Bye, Anjali. Bye, Geeta.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you
Bye.
so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Mr. Gupta. Bye-bye.